play the game with the people that writing the rules. Ain't the fame that I'm after when paying the dues. I've been through the pain that's reflected in the attitude. Might be winning now, but the thing is that I had to lose. So go and tell me what you really want to do. And lonely at the top, cause there ain't a lot of room. Ain't no other option, that's all I ever knew. So I'ma get it poppin', you know how I'ma do. I've been down through the blood and the sweat. Guarantee you can know I'm a threat. I've been down through the blood and the sweat. And I ain't close to being done yet, I'm going all in. Yeah, I'm going all in. Yeah, and I ain't close to being done yet, I'm going all in. Yeah, and I'm going all in.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of The Boys Are Back, talking 49er football. We have so many things to talk about. We're going to talk about the owners' meeting that took place. We're going to talk about rule changes. Is it going to be good for our team? Is it going to be bad? How will it affect us as the San Francisco 49ers? We're going to get into that. Hello, everyone. Welcome in as you're coming in. Welcome to our episode every Tuesday at 6:30. I am accompanied with my boys, Pete and Brandon. Pete, how are we doing today, sir?
What's going on, Beto? What's going on, Brandon? I can't say it's a beautiful day in Texas. It was rainy, but it's another beautiful day to be a 49er fan, and a lot of news to talk about. So here we go.
That's what I'm talking about. Brandon, how you doing, sir?
Doing well, my brother. Beto, what's going on? Peter, what's going on?
Ooh, wrong button. Sorry.
It's Tuesday. It's almost the end of the month. Another day to talk about 49ers football, so let's get right into it, baby.
Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Let's go. I'm trying to keep your things up there for a little bit longer so they can see your
All right,
channels.
thank you. Appreciate it, brother.
In the future, if you guys can just keep talking until those things go away, and then that way I don't take you guys off of camera. But anyway, we'll live and learn as we go. All right, let's make sure to say hello to everybody in the chat. We got Daniel Barry Sports, Jimmy Perez, Niners Throwback in the house. We got Bebop Jones, Don Dotson in the house. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to another episode of The Boys Are Back. Ooh-wee. I'm fired up, guys. I don't know if you guys can tell, but I am fired up to talk 49er football. There's some changes. Let me ask you, I asked this to Pete off camera. Let me ask you, Brandon. Are you familiar with the CFL football or XFL? Excuse me. Have you ever watched XFL football?
I watched it a little bit. I saw that the NFL did change the kickoff, and I don't know. I'm like kind of up in the air about it. I see that's exactly like how the XFL has it.
You're gonna love it,
but I'm kind of waiting to see like how this plays out. Like I'm kind of weird, but kind of excited to see it happen. But I mean, we'll see when it happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna get a Pete's input on this as well on camera. But I love it. The fact is that it's gonna keep people from getting hurt as much as before, and people like Debo or people like certain star players can take advantage of this because the way they're set up, they're gonna be 5 feet from each other, the offense and defense, right? Special teams, or the special teams from each other, not offense and defense, but not until the kicker gets the ball that they can move. So it's like a play, a regular play. You give the ball, throw the ball to Debo, and see Debo do what he does. I like it. I want to get Pete's insight on it. I think it's going to be good for the game. Pete, on that note, what are your thoughts of the new change? And if I know you've seen it in the past, or you're familiar with it. Do you think it'll be good for the game or not so good?
I think it's going to be great. I'll be perfectly honest with you. I think it's going to make it more exciting. The last couple of years, I mean, it's been kind of dull. People just kind of kicking it out of the end zone, and there is no real return specialists anymore. I think that this opens the door for running backs to get a bigger look at that spot now, just because it's almost like a big running play. That's what it looks like to me. and I watched a few
Yeah.
of the XFL
True.
games just like Brandon did, and it's okay. Like it's kind of hard to watch. Like it's some of those games just
Yeah.
because it's such a far drop off from the NFL. But I watch it just for the sake of just watching some kind of football. And but yeah, I liked it. There's a lot of aspects about the XFL that I'm hoping that the NFL kind of adopts. So it's and I think that that's what the NFL is kind of using them for as well, like just to try stuff out. So I think we're going to see more of the stuff from the XFL.
Yeah, it's whatever it takes to bring more excitement to a game that already brings excitement to it and keeps our players safe. I'm telling you, this is perfectly made for someone like Debo, man, to do what he does, see him run. I'm excited about it. I loved it. I'm with you, Pete. The drop off between the NFL and the XFL is huge. But I like football in general. Like I was telling my friend earlier on the phone, I lower my expectations when it comes to the XFL, as I don't hold it to the same standard as the NFL, of course. I don't have a podcast talking about the XFL, but I do like watching them just because it's football when the NFL is not available. But there's certain things they do on the field that sooner or later will be implemented into the NFL. And it's nice just to be familiar with it and how it works instead of just like wondering, how is this going to play out? See, like you and me, Pete, and a little bit of Brandon, we're excited about it because we've seen it. We, regardless of the drop of players' performances, the rule is still the rule, and we enjoyed that kickoff rule that they have in XFL. Now that they're going to implement that into the NFL, we're excited because we like the way it does there. Now imagine now having that rule with talent on the football field. It's going to be funner to watch because there's no talent in the XFL, but there's talent in the NFL. So you're going to get boys like Debo, other players from other teams that are going to just take advantage of that rule.
I wonder if they're going to I wonder if they're going to put it in the Madden this year.
I want to
Like,
see why not. Unless they already
like
make,
I mean, because then we get a chance to see it like kind of early, like and see like not that it's gonna play out exactly like the NFL, but I would think that would be kind of cool that we could kind of get an idea of what it might look like.
What's up, Crazy Juice? Welcome to the channel, my friend.
Yeah,
How is your leg
I agree.
doing? I know you hurt your leg. I hope you're feeling better today, my friend. Welcome. Yeah. You want to add anything to that? What's up, Terry Dome? You want to add to any of that, Brandon?
What's up, Terry? Like like I said, I am like I said, like it's kind of weird, but like I'm also excited to see how this plays out this coming up season. So it's gonna be fun to watch for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And so there's other things that came up, like they're going to try it for 1 year. They're going to try this for 1 year, and we're going to see how it goes. But they're going to do where you can't for the kicking game, or not for the punt, but you can't. What I lost that word. What was the word I said earlier? Pete. When you call it like a fair catch, no fair catch.
Fair catch.
Yeah, they took off the fair catch.
Yeah,
so that'll be fun
on the kickoff. Yeah,
on the kickoffs. I hope they
Makes
do
sense.
something. I hope they do something in the punt, because that whole ordeal that happened to us in the Super Bowl could be avoided if we didn't have no damn punt kicks. Do you guys think there's something in the future coming for the punt part of it, or do you think they're
I
going to
hope
leave the punt
not.
alone?
I hope not.
I
I don't
so.
want to see. I don't want to see like full scale, like completely change the game to where we don't even recognize football anymore. I feel like it's they're doing a little much. Not this the kickoff. Okay, that's fine. Like, but I mean, we're going to talk about it later. I'm sure the hip drop tackle. There's been other things in the past.
Bullshit.
The Brady rule, and there's been other things that they've brought in to make everything easier on the defense, or I mean on the offense. That I don't know. To me, it gets a little bit less football-y every season.
Yeah. What are your thoughts, Brandon?
I agree. If we're gonna bring up that the hip side tackle thing that they changed, I'll say it already. You might as well play fucking flag football at this point. Like, I mean, it's making it less and less to where missed tackles are just gonna happen at this point. You'll see running backs, receivers, whoever, tight ends going off for hella yards. So now you can't even fucking tackle. Basically, that's
Yeah,
basically
yeah.
what it's come down to, and it's honestly bullshit. It's ruining the game of football. Um, like the NFL is turning into such a like a bitch league.
I mean,
Excuse the
I'm all
French, but
for.
it's true.
I hear you. I'm all for protecting the players. You don't want players to get hurt, but how much is
It's
enough is
football.
enough. Yeah, it's
It's
football. It's
football.
a physical game.
There's
I'm all
literally
for it.
no way you can take injuries out of the game. There's no way.
Exactly. Unless you make it flag football.
Nope,
It's like, I don't know
not at
about you.
all.
I never really cared about Pro Bowl, watching Pro Bowls anyway, because it's just a bunch of, but they made the Pro Bowl, as bad as it was back in the 90s and 2000s, it was bad to watch for me at least. They made it worse now. Then it'll, 7-on-7 and
I kind of like it now.
really.
I kind of liked it this year with all the skills I like the skills stuff. Like
Oh, yeah.
where
No,
they
but I'm talking about what they do on the field.
oh yeah, I mean
Then
I could go
it'll,
with that.
Not like the actual Pro Bowl.
But well, I mean I just don't care. I
I
don't
just
know
used
if
to
I've
like to
ever
watch the
cared
different
about the Pro Bowl.
helmets, the different helmets of the team. Now you don't even wear helmets.
Yeah, I mean for what? Why don't you
Well,
make them play
I
flag? Like didn't they have them play flag one year?
yeah.
They might as well just do that. I don't have a problem with them doing that.
Now, to my point, that a reason why I brought that up is because this is where the league is going if they continue this on this road. Sooner or later, in 20 years from now, we're going to be watching flag football instead of tackle football.
You know, they better watch out because I'll be honest. When the women had their tournament, the flag football tournament, it was pretty nice. It was entertaining. It was really entertaining, and yeah, I liked it a lot.
You just like the
so
way that what they were wearing.
you can say
Forget
what
about
you
the
want.
game.
You can say
No,
what you
Mom.
want, but it's but the reality is it was a good product, and like they could, and I just don't want to go. I like football, the way football was, the way that I came up on it. I don't think that this is. I'm sure that people got stats out there that show it ended this amount of injuries, all that stuff. It did like the percentages, all that kind of stuff. I don't really care. Not that I don't care about the players, but everybody knew what they were signing up for when they went to play football. So it is what it is. If you want to play, nobody's giving up those millions of dollars to not get injured. Like that, it is what it is. You just go out there and you play.
Correct. So here's a graphic kind of what it's going to look like. You got the landing zone in the green. You got the setup zone in the yellow. And then you got the kickoff start line in the blue. You kind of get an idea what it's going to look like, how they're going to set up when they kick the ball. And then you got this graphic right here as well, kind of different way of seeing it. So see how close they are to each other? So
Yeah.
these guys cannot move until the receiver catches the ball. Once the receiver catches the ball, look at the distance he has to start cutting and weaving. So there's going to be a lot of opportunities for these guys to break one to the end zone, because these guys can't move. The defenders, and the protectors, right? They can't move until this guy catches the ball. Once he catches the ball, it's all fair game. They start blocking each other and trying to, and if this guy, the Debo guy, for example, breaks through and he's gone. Can you imagine McCaffrey receiving the ball and breaking through? He's gone. That's going to be the fun of this. Watching, what am I doing? Moving the wrong screen. That's what I'm doing. But is it, okay, that's not it. All right, so let me get back to our other screen. But yeah, that's kind of an idea what it's going to look. I think it's going to be fun, like Pete said. I think people are really, really going to enjoy it. Welcome, Niner. David McNiner in the house. What's up, brother? Welcome to the show.
Niner.
Man, it's going to be
What's up, Dave?
it's going to be fun. Gentlemen, What other rules? I'll be honest with you. I was not able to really deep dive into all the rules because I've been kind of busy today doing some errands. Is there anything else that changed that I might have missed that you guys can bring up? Either one of you?
We got the hip drop tackle. We got the
That's why it's
that one.
break it
Then
down a little bit more.
they
hip tap.
made the if they kick it out of the end zone, it's like it's the 30 instead of the 35 now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know that one. Oh, they made it. They did another one. Oh, the instant replay. They did the instant replay. Like they have a guy on the sideline. Basically, they're asking. There's a. It hasn't gone through all the way yet, but they're supposed to be voting on it to see if they can have an extra challenge, and the coach wouldn't lose their challenge. They would end up with 3 challenges basically, and which would get it would be, to me, it would be better just because now coaches wouldn't be kind of keeping the flag in their pocket when it's an obvious challenge, because they would be more willy-nilly with the challenge.
Yep.
Because they have an extra one. So I like that one. And then they have another guy on the sideline, that the instant replay guy, that is going to be looking at things and changing things on the fly. Like if it's an obvious bad call, they're going to be reviewing it on the spot.
Now, one of the things that I don't like is that the onside kick now has to be told when they're going to do it. They have to let the referee know, okay, we're going to onside kick the ball. Kind of.
Yeah, oh, that was the one too. That's just dumb. Like, I mean,
bogus.
What's the point?
Yep.
Might as well not do onside kicks no more.
Yep.
Yeah.
They're taking everything away. Yeah, it's like the eligible receiver. When the lineman comes in, you got to announce it. Eligible, 76. Eligible receiver. So I don't know. We'll see. But they said they're going to only do that. No, that change was made. The one that is only
testing it.
Yeah. So we'll see how it goes, but I think that's dumb. But we'll see it play out. But
I do like them having the guy on the sideline to do, like, obviously he's going to be reviewing the plays like right in the moment, and like and reviewing bad calls
in real time. Yeah.
Yeah, because they said specifically for those, he's going to be specifically watching the ones on the quarterback, like the roughing the passers and those kinds of things. So like that, because everybody complains about the roughing the passer calls constantly, and then we look at the tape and it's really not roughing the passer. So like, yeah, exactly. I'm really interested to see how it implements, and is it going to drag the game on for any amount of time? But I mean, at what point, guys, do we just go to automated referees? I mean, you got to have somebody out there to break up the fights. But other than that, I mean, maybe just have a bunch of bouncers out there, and then have the electronics guys on the sideline call the penalty.
Bro, they're going to have someone specially to be there for the guy that and the Eagles. That their coach's bouncer to keep him back. That way Greenlaw doesn't get into it. I mean, the nonsense is going to come out real quick. I just want to say hello to Red Jet Shal. She just came into the chat. Welcome to the chat.
What's going on?
The lovely Red Jet Shal. Welcome to the chat. But yeah, it's we're going to play with these. We're going to see how it works. Some things obviously we like, some things we don't. But it's all about trying to make the game better, more entertaining, and safer for the fans to enjoy and view. That's what the whole purpose of it. But whether it works out or not, what shall I say? Do you guys know that Jerry York was one of the 3 owners that was against the new kickoff return?
Yeah, I mean, they have problems stopping the kickoff to begin with. So yeah, like I could see.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I could see it.
And that's Jed York, and he said it's not. It wasn't really that it's the kickoff thing. They just, I guess, they can't tweak it in the middle of the year, If it works or doesn't, they have to wait until the end of the year to do all the tweaks. And that's something he was opposed against. Not necessarily the whole thing. It's just the fact that they're not able to tweak it based on the database coming back to the referees of injuries and so forth. They won't tweak it into the following offseason. And I think that's what he was opposed to.
Yeah, I'm sure. Like,
Yeah, that's true.
and I get it. Like, but at the same time, 49ers aren't good on kickoffs. So
Nope, they are not.
I just look at it as like we're already struggling. Like, don't add another wrinkle in.
Yeah,
so
don't make it harder on us on something we can't master on yet. Offense, we got you. Defense, we okay. Special teams, not so much. But I think that this year it's going to be, and again, for me, every year it's going to be different, right? Until it's not. But I think they brought in some good key players and special teams. Now, it's not just bringing these players in, it's how effective these players are going to be when they're here underneath. I don't know about you, but I'm not too high. I keep forgetting his name, but I'm not too high on the special teams coach, the guy that came from Seattle. What are you guys' thoughts? Brandon, I'll go with you first, and then P, you can follow.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like we always have the worst luck with special team coaches too. On top of that, I think he I mean, he did pretty decent with Seattle. So I mean, I'm willing to give him that. I mean, we have to give him a shot anyways. But I'm willing to like give him that shot to see how our special teams is, and hopefully it takes a big leap and improves significantly this coming up season. So I'll give him a shot. We're gonna have to see what happens. But we no matter who the coach is, we always somehow, some way, fuck up on special teams. So let's just see what happens. Honestly, not much we could do, right?
Exactly. What are your thoughts, Pete?
Brian Schneider's his name.
Brian Schneider, yeah.
But I don't know. The one when we first had not this season, but the season before that, when we got all the special teams guys, Oren Burks, and they revamped the whole special teams. They brought in all these guys to improve the special teams, and for the most part, it worked. That season. Then this past season, they kind of regressed, and I don't know what the answer is. It's like one of those. It's like, when was the last time we actually had a good special teams? Can you remember?
I can't. Since we had that punt returner, what's his name? That receiver that came from Miami.
Who, Dion? No.
No, that's in this. No, I'm talking about that receiver that came from Miami. Remember back in the hardball?
Ted Ginn.
Ted Ginn. I think.
So I mean, you're talking about over a decade ago.
Yep.
Like, so I just look at it as maybe because there's sometimes teams are just known for certain things, and maybe we're just not a good special teams team. Like the Chicago can't have a good quarterback. Like there's certain things about certain teams like that we just cannot develop a good special teams unit. Like returning, coverage, whatever it is, like we just have a hard time with it. And I don't necessarily think it's Brian Schneider per se. I think that sometimes guys get hurt. Like I know last year Odom got hurt pretty early.
Yeah,
and that probably had something to do with it. Oren Burks probably wasn't playing because he probably wasn't playing as much on special teams because he was really playing a lot last season. So I don't know. I'd have to look at like the special team snaps on everybody that was there, but I think they played some of the rookies were out there a few times. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I hear you, man. We'll see what happens. So hey, we're getting closer, guys. We're getting closer to the draft. We're close to the ending March, getting into April. I know you guys are into the draft. I know you guys are looking at draft prospects.
Yes, sir.
Particularly players that are going to go within the window that whether we move up, how high do we move up? Do we move down? What player might fall at 31? Pete, I'll start with you, and then Brandon, if you can follow. What player, if you have been paying attention to the draft, I know sometimes we don't have time to do that, and that's okay if you haven't, but if you have, if there's a player that you're like, I had him down here, but since I've been watching, he's gone a little bit higher in my draft pick, and I think this will be a good pickup for the Niners, and then explain why you think it'll be beneficial for the Niners to pick him up.
Which round are we talking about?
First round, 31.
My main guy that I like is what's his name? Kingsley Suamataia.
Okay.
He's an offensive tackle. He's a guy that's probably going to fall in that 35 to 40, between that 35 and 45 range. And he's a really good offensive tackle. But he falls right out of that first round like talent pool. And I really like him. I think he can do. You could probably play him at guard too. You could probably play multiple positions. But he's got the arm length that I like on my tackles. And yeah, I mean, it's hard to explain it because like he plays really well. I don't understand why he's so far down. I think he's just so far down, just because there are some guys that are just freak athletes in this for offensive linemen in this draft, and he is not a freak athlete. He is just really kind of sound. And but he also does have enough athleticism. I think he ran like a 5'1", 5'1" something, and for an offensive tackle, that's pretty decent. But yeah, like I like Kingsley. He plays with a mean streak too.
Okay, what about you, Senor Brandon?
For me, I'm gonna go with also an offensive tackle, Tyler Guten, from Oklahoma. And I mean, he's one of those guys where he could be there on the right side, right? Especially if McKivitz is being asked out there, And I think he could become a really good right tackle if he's with us for sure, and block that right side where we need the most help for sure.
Yeah, I'm with you. For me, listen, Brindle, he's not the long-term answer at center. He was bad, but I think we definitely have to upgrade in that spot. I like the kid from West Virginia, Zach Frazier, to be taken there. To be that
at 31.
I like him. I just don't know if he'll make it to 93 or 63, our next draft pick. Do you think he'll be there by 63?
I don't think he'll be there by 63. They would have to trade up. Like what I do think could happen is, because I think if they did like my guy Kingsley, if they took Kingsley, I think they would trade down, like probably to 33, 34.
To take him?
I guess.
Yeah, I'm thinking just to recoup the pick for next year that they lost.
The fifth.
Yeah, and
what about that tackle Jordan Morgan from Arizona?
And that's a possibility as well. Jordan Morgan is a possibility, but I think he's a guard.
That's true.
I think he's a guard.
Because
he's got smaller arms.
They have him as a tackle, but guard, absolutely. Now he'll be another one that you think they'll trade down, or you think that someone like him they'll have to take him at 31 if he lands there.
He would land there. And I think people would be perfectly fine with him picking him at 31, but I think he's a guy that you could trade down a couple of spots and still get. But in my opinion, they could trade down a couple. That's why they could trade down a couple of spots regardless, and they're either going to get Jordan Morgan or Kingsley Suamataia. So, I think it's a no-lose situation, in my opinion. Yeah, I think it all depends on how the draft actually falls, because as we know, we do all these mock drafts and everything, and then inevitably somebody gets picked way higher than anybody thought, and it knocks everything out of whack. Everything, and then all the gloves are off, and you don't know what's going to happen. So,
player has no business going in the top 15, goes there, and you're like, oh crap. And it's a snowball all the way down. Now, okay, so we all took an offensive player that we think that the Niners should take at 31. Moving to 63 in the second round, what position
If
do
Graham
you
Barton
think?
is there, I'd take him.
Who?
No. If Graham Barton is there, I would take him.
Graham Barton. Why does he sound familiar?
The guy from Duke.
Oh, okay.
He played
Okay.
tackle, but he can play all. But he can play all three positions. And people are looking at him as a center, actually, like a center prospect. But he can play all three.
Now, so you're saying that even at 63, they should go offense again?
Oh, at 63, Graham Barton's not going to be there at 63. Graham Barton's he's if anything, I'm saying
No,
if,
I meant to
if they
63 now
fall
because
to-
we already took an offensive player, so now we
Okay,
moved to our
my
second
bad.
round. We're at 63. What position do you think the Niners may target, and who do you think they're targeting?
who I would love to be there is Christian Haynes. If I'm picking Sumatia, then who I would love is out of UConn. Like he's listed as a guard, but he's going to be a center prospect. But he could play guard until center opened up.
You said Christian who?
Christian Haynes.
Oh, the guard. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd really like him. I don't know that he'll be
Connecticut.
there. Yeah, I don't know that he'll be there. But if it's a guy that we're reaching for, is this a guy that we're reaching for, or does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay, yeah, I like Christian Haynes.
His block rate is 80.1. Wow. His pass grade is 82.5. Zone grade and PFF is 89.2.
Yeah, he's a
Gap
monster.
grade 64. He's a monster, bro.
Yeah, he's a monster as in the zone blocking. Like he gets out in front. He's really athletic too.
He took 802 snaps at right tackle. Right guard.
Yeah,
He hasn't played anything else but right guard.
but
In
they think
college.
he's going to eventually be a center.
Really?
Interesting.
He gave up 1 sack, 1 hit, and 10 hurries in his career.
Yeah,
And he played it. Wow, that is crazy. And 12. Yeah. Oh no, excuse me.
do need a
Not
sack,
in his career.
too.
In his 12,
I mean, he
in
played
12 games.
he played in what is UConn the ACC?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That's not. Yeah, I hear you. That's not saying much, but
Yeah.
and I get lost sometimes looking at the board. I have to remind myself, okay, who do they play against?
yeah,
Because you got to look. That has to take a
Right,
factor.
right.
that does factor in.
But I say this: even though you play against a weak defenses, you have to be dominant. If you're a player that at least you dominate those that you're supposed to dominate,
Yeah, that's true.
then you're a good player. Look what we have. Oh my goodness, gracious! The honor,
Wow.
the honor
Look
of my
at
Jesse,
boy.
what's going on, man?
We
Thanks
are
for
not
tuning in.
worthy.
What's up, brother? We're not worthy. We're not worthy.
What's going on, Jesse? Appreciate
We're
you
not-
coming through.
What's up, Jess?
My brother from a different mother. I love this dude. This guy is amazing. I love his takes. Anybody that has no positive things about this man don't know football. This guy
nicest
speaks.
guy.
He speaks
Nicest
from his
guy in the
heart. He
world.
tells you the way it is.
Yeah, nicest guy in the world.
Yep.
Too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he really is.
Jesse. Jesse's a cool dude, man.
I remember when he invited me onto the show a couple years ago.
Yeah, I got to give him a level up on this one. Cool, man. Jesse's hella cool. Welcome to the group. Yeah. Well, that's besides the point. Stupid people love people too, No, but I have a lot of respect for Jess. I don't bother him too much because I know he's a busy. I have a better chance of messing with someone like on ESPN that I do messing with Jess because he's so busy. But I love the dude. He's a great guy. Thank you for showing up, brother.
Yeah,
And now this guy, I don't know who this guy is. This guy's like some kind of stalker, I think.
This motherfucker. Get out of here,
What's up, Val? Ramos is in the house. ¿Qué pasó? Welcome. He says Jess is in the building. Now he's going to leave when Jess leaves. Don't do that. But welcome, bro. Welcome. Good to have you. But yeah, so he says Christian Haynes in the second round to guard at possible center. Brandon.
If he's there.
Which player do you think in 63 the Niners should address, and what position of need should they go, and which player and why?
don't be surprised if they go receiver.
Really
I think they might go receiver at 63. Honestly,
interesting. Why that take? I'm really why that take?
I don't know. They've been looking at a lot of receivers during the combine and during the um, God, what's the word for it again? Um,
The combine,
the combine and the
oh,
Yeah, the
you
senior
pro day,
the
pro
senior bowl
days.
or pro
pro
days?
days.
Yeah, like for example, like today, it came out today that um, Western Kentucky receiver Malachi Corley will be making his top 30 pre-draft visit to the Niners. So I
Yeah, of
mean,
course.
I don't buy it though.
that
I
should
don't,
tell you right
the
there.
whole
And
he's a Debo clone. I don't buy it. I think
yeah, I was just gonna say that. Like they're saying that
Well, it's just
he's
his
kind
play
of like
style.
Debo,
It's just
yeah,
his play
his
style.
play style.
yeah.
Yeah,
He's no Debo,
he's a
in
yak.
my
He's
opinion.
a yak machine, and like today on Pat McAfee show, they said he's a yak machine and a tough as nails. So I mean, don't be surprised, man. It's either that round or the next round. There's another guy from NFL Network that did a mock draft and has Ed McCaffrey or Luke McCaffrey going at I think round 3
Round 3.
for the Niners. The Niners choosing him.
I
So
think
Yeah,
Luke
I don't know,
McCaffrey is
man.
more of a
third
Debo.
third round
It's
is
a long
kind of
shot for that one, but I'm just saying.
third round is kind of high for him. I just
Yeah, he's more like a middle fourth.
Or fourth round. My bad. It was fourth round.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think Brandon
pick
Rice can go
94.
in the third round.
Yeah.
I don't want Brandon Rice. I know that's
So
I know
Well,
that
just
that's
because he's
this
Jerry
guy-
Rice's son doesn't mean he's going to be a Jerry Rice guy.
yeah.
yeah. So this
I'm not a
guy,
fan.
this guy Chad Reuter, he did his fourth round mock draft, and he has Luke going to the Niners and Brandon Rice going to Arizona.
I can see him fitting more with Arizona than he would with us. Although a lot of people are comparing the comp of Brandon Rice, or at least the measurables and all that, to Puka Nakua from the Rams. But I'm like,
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't see that either.
me neither. Well, they're just going by the
see it.
hands, the measurements, the height, the weight, the broad jump, and you know.
I feel
These
like
are
Puka is way tougher than he is.
Yeah, Puka Nakua. What do you think that Jalen guy McKillen from Washington? I don't think he'll be there in the second round, but that kid looks pretty good. But I don't know if they're going to go receiver, bro. Honestly, I think they're going to go D tackles. People don't realize. Yes, we traded for Malik Collins from the Houston Texans, and we got him, and we got what's his name, the other Jordan. Can't think of his Elliott, which is another good run defender to go along Hargrave. But I think they're going to need someone in the future. Do you think D tackle's a priority, or do you think they're looking at safety maybe? Because the whole thing with Hufanga is kind of up in the air. I know they've been looking at some free agent safeties. What position do you think could go in 63? Now, Brandon, I know you think it should be. You would think it might be receiver, not be surprised. But I think second round for a receiver is a little too. I know we did it with Debo. We took Ayuk in the first round, so it's not impossible. But based on what we have right now, do you think the D tackle might be a better position depending who's there?
I did say receiver, but we all know either they're going defense tackle either first round or second round. So, I mean, it's pretty like it's out there already type thing. You know, like we know our team. They love drafting defense tackles or defensive end or whoever. The D line, basically in general, especially in the first round.
Yeah, that's what they put all their bread and butter. Now, there's a kid that I don't know if he'll be available there, but he is a guy that they invited to the 30 visit. His name is Marshawn Keenan from Western Michigan, defensive end. Have you guys heard of him?
What's his name?
Marshawn
Nealon?
Nealon, yeah.
Yeah. Like he's kind of like he's the type of edge player that the 49ers like. He's out of like what is it, Western Kentucky?
Yeah, Western Kentucky.
Yeah, he is the type of he's a typical 49er edge. He's like 265, 270, 6'4", and like really, I mean, a stout against the run. He can do a little bit of everything on the edge. He's just more
He's
he's more
6'3", 275. Yeah, it's a big boy.
yeah, 6'3". Yeah, something like that. Like but he's okay. Like I once again, Western Kentucky.
Yeah.
And I'm not a big, I know that the 49ers love getting these guys from the smaller schools,
Why is
but
that?
I, I don't get it. Like, I mean, I do to a point. Some of them work out, but for the most part,
Yeah, just
I just wish they would get some guys that have played against really good competition. And I think that they get these guys because they're more, they have the underdog mentality, like they're not supposed to be here and that kind of stuff. But sometimes we just want the talent.
yep.
Yep.
I agree.
So 63, they go defense. Let me ask you guys just a broad question. How many trades? And now people are like need to understand the Niners have made a lot of trades when it comes to draft. John Lynch is not someone that shies away from trades, meaning that we have 10 picks. Forget about the player, forget about the position, just in trade general. And Brandon, I'll start with you and then take it over to Pete. Do you think what's the first move you think they do? Do you think they trade up or trade down as a trade possibility if they do the trade? Which direction you think they'll go, regardless of the round, regardless of the player in the position? Just do they the first initial trade, is it up or down, and why?
Pete, you go first. I'm still thinking about this.
He just threw that bone at you, Pete. Go for it.
That's fine, not a problem. Like I think, well, I know what they should do. I think that they should trade down. I'll be perfectly honest, because I don't think that, and I'm kind of echoing the sentiments of a lot of my fellow content creators out there. That it's there's not going to be the offensive tackle that we necessarily want at 31, right there.
Correct.
Like not at 31. Like there's going to be the Graham Bartons, there's going to be the Jordan Morgans, there's even going to be the the guy I mentioned earlier, Kingsley Sumataya. But those are guys that I feel like they could trade down a couple of spots and still get. Like Graham Barton, no. If Graham Barton is there, you're taking him because if they decide to take Graham Barton, it's because they see him as a future, as a lockdown. Like they lock down the guard spot and maybe the center spot of the future. But if you're going for a tackle, I would just go ahead and trade down a couple of spots and see if Jordan Morgan or Suamatai are still there. One of them is going to still be there at that point. So I just think that you could recoup at least a pick by doing that. So I think that they should trade down. But will they? Who knows? Like they'll probably trade all 7th and 6th round picks to. They'll probably trade somebody we never thought of and end up at number 20.
It's a possibility. Yeah. We lost the 5th round pick for next year, so that's something to keep in mind. They might want to recuperate by doing some trade downs. But Brandon, do they trade up?
Yes.
Or trade down, and why?
I say they trade down as well. Like Pete said, like there could be a good possibility that there will be still a good offensive tackle later in in the second round or whatever. But you just never know with this team because like we've reiterated before, this team loves to draft on the defense in the first round most of the time. So we all want the offensive tackle or right tackle, whoever it is, guard whatever position. But even if they just stay at 31, I see them still just picking a defensive lineman at the end of the day. Honestly,
Yeah,
Well,
I hear you.
did you hear like Kyle in his interview said that they're perfectly fine with their offensive line. They think that the offensive line is going to play
see,
better this
Yep,
year
that
together.
doesn't surprise me
And
at all.
I wanted to
pisses me
throw up
off.
all over my screen. Like I was like, come on, you've got to want to upgrade at some point.
Dude, seriously, like, how do you stick with that, especially on that right side, man? Like, we've seen it all season, this last season, and especially in the Super Bowl. Chris Jones was eating that right side, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
Because
know,
with Kyle, it's all scheme on offense, line, and defense is what they put their money at. And but I think the Niners are going to shock somebody this year. I think the Niners will address that right tackle. Maybe someone that can, maybe a left tackle that can take over for big Big Trent once he retires, but can play right tackle in the meanwhile. See what they do. But there is a drop off. People don't realize on tackles, there's a certain amount of tackles, and if there's not one at 31, there's quite of a drop off. You don't want to start playing with your food in round two and that at 31 or early in round two, trying to get a tackle that you can probably develop. They're not looking for that. They're looking either for a day one starter, or if they're going to develop a tackle, they're going to pick somebody in the fourth, third round. To me personally, I don't think they'll take a tackle in the first round if he's not ready to go day one. Or even if he's a tackle, but they can use him at guard day one, I can see them doing that. But other than that, I think they go defense. I think they go D tackle there at defense. I don't think they might not even touch offense unless they move up. And that's the thing.
Do you think that they pull a Javon Kinlaw and trade up and get Johnny Newton out of Illinois?
Now with Javon Kinlaw, they only moved up one spot. But I hear you.
Yeah.
I wish they would have took Worth instead, but that's
I
neither
did
here
some
nor there.
mocks today, and Johnny Newton fell to 31, and I immediately thought, I was like, what if they do that? Like I would be so angry.
yeah,
Like I'd be so angry.
Yeah,
I would be too.
I hope. Yeah, but one thing about let's keep it honest. I mean, I know the Tolman Solomon didn't work out, but that was their first a draft they did. I know, they should have took the quarterback. The Patrick Mahomes. What's the other kid that came from?
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
And
all this whole thing. They came in and they came in, and people don't realize they came in late that offseason, right? Because they were in the Super Bowl with Atlanta. They had to build the coaching staff. So they got into it really late. People don't forget that. So I kind of just bypassed that whole draft. But they've taken their chances and moved up and down aggressive. But one thing that John Lynch has never done, in my opinion, correct me if I'm wrong, he never overshoots for someone. And if he has, who's that player that you remember?
Wait a minute.
Him
Never
overshooting?
overshoots? What do you mean?
Like give too many picks for a player that is not worth all those picks for. Like the guy you're talking about. They're moving up to the 20th to take a player that can fall at 31.
I mean, I think you're forgetting about Trey Lance.
That's true. That is true.
But what is the most important position in the NFL? Quarterback.
I get it, but I mean, I think, in my opinion, and I said it at the time, and I don't want to get on this.
You're not going to waver from it. I got you.
I don't want to get into this big old long conversation about it. But at the time when they traded up, I thought that was a mistake. I was, and you can look back at my tweets back at that time. I was, and people are going to crucify me right now, but I was all about Mac Jones because I thought him at 12 would have been. He was a perfect fit for what Shanahan does, and they didn't need all the bells and whistles. But it is what it is. They did what they did, and I was perfectly fine with the Trey Lance.
What do you think that made Kyle move that direction? You think because he faced Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl?
I think that he felt pressure. He felt pressure to do more than Mac Jones. That's what I felt. Like I felt like he felt pressure because, and as we all know, I think we can all agree on this at this point that Kyle doesn't do well under pressure. He just doesn't. He makes
Well,
snap
in certain
decisions.
spots, he doesn't do good.
Yeah,
Under
he
pressure,
makes snap decisions, and quite frequently, I think that I mean, let's talk about running backs in the draft.
Well, I don't know if that's pressure. I think that's more dumb
I mean,
picks.
but I think he went to his pro day, saw all the little bells and whistle throws that they were showing him that he could do, and he just immediately fell in love with the kid, and like that's fine, but that doesn't mean that you can process. That doesn't mean that you trust in the offense, and Trey just wasn't able to do that, and he couldn't stay healthy.
Yeah, I'm not.
I still
listen,
feel like
I'm
he
not
didn't have a
excusing.
chance though.
No, bro.
Well, because he couldn't stay healthy
Trey,
He was only hurt one time.
yeah.
twice.
His opportunity was the year. What was it? Not last year, 23, 22.
Yeah, it was just dumb luck. I'm not saying
Yeah.
that it was dumb luck. Like he got, but that was the point is that they said that they probably would have started, but he had hurt his in the game that he played
His
the
index
Texans
finger?
against the Texans. He was hurt.
Yeah, but
game.
let's keep it real though. Even though he got hurt, they didn't like from the get go. They didn't like what they saw in him when they got him, because
Yeah.
even if he was hurt, they would have kept him, in my opinion, if they saw an upside. Even the way that Brock played, they would have kept him.
No.
But they just didn't like. No, not kept him as a starter, but kept him
Yeah.
on the team. That's what I mean.
I don't think that they could do that. I don't
Why
think they
not?
could do that. No. They
You
wouldn't
mean?
have
Oh,
done
you
that.
mean from the fan base perspective, the media?
No. Not just even from the media. They wouldn't do that because it doesn't send a good message. Like you can't if you're gonna have Brock as the starter and you're gonna have Trey sit behind him. I don't think they would have done that. Like just because it's not a good that means Brock's always looking over his shoulder, and they're just looking for a reason for everybody to be screaming to put Trey in. Like no, they're not gonna do that. That's why he had to go.
Okay. You want to add anything to that, Brandon?
No,
Yeah.
no, I don't because I mean I agree with Pete.
I just think
It
if
just-
they like
At
what
the end
they
of the day,
saw.
dude, Trey Lance just wasn't
I
a
know,
fucking fit for the Niners.
Yeah,
and
I don't
Kyle.
think that they like what he saw. I agree with you, Beto, on that. I don't think they liked what they saw, but they didn't want to give him time to develop.
No,
they
you're
already
right.
knew what it was. The sentiment in the building was he wasn't getting a fair shake.
No.
And like so the perception was always going to be they were going to constantly get asked questions about it every time Brock had a couple of bad throws.
Yeah, and that's not fair. That's not fair for Brock or Trey.
Or Trey.
Yeah, it wouldn't be fair for neither one.
And I
They did
think
the
also,
right
too,
thing by him.
I think also too is the fact that we were in a win now mode, like team, and well, like we have the pieces and everything. I feel like they didn't want to take the time to have Trey develop the right way.
It would take time.
Well, it was
to
because
get,
of his injuries. It
Yep.
was because of his injuries
Well,
he
that
wasn't
too.
able to develop.
Well, I can't blame Trey on his last injury. I think that was Kyle forcing him to run the damn ball up the middle a lot during that season.
That was just bad luck, bro.
He ran him
I mean-
to the ground, man. I'm sorry.
I will agree. I don't necessarily like what Kyle was doing because I feel like if he's got to learn how to throw the ball, he's got to be throwing the ball.
Yeah,
Like,
Exactly.
But at the same time, regardless of how I feel about how he ran, about how Kyle used him, the fact is that he got hurt and he was not able to further develop because he was always hurt. Like so you can't develop if you can't have reps. And the guy just had the fewest reps of any. He still has had less reps than any quarterback, I think, in the league. Like, when does the guy ever get reps?
Yep.
Yeah.
He's a third string for Dallas.
Yep. And that's saying, yeah.
Maybe
feel bad
second
for the
string
kid.
now. Maybe he's second string now because they got rid of Cooper Rush.
Why do you feel bad for him? You know how much millions he got just to get signed at third overall?
I know, but he wants to play.
And
I feel bad that
I want to go out with a supermodel. We don't all get what we want.
Yeah, there's a lot of quarterbacks over year after year after year that have had talent that get drafted to the wrong team, and I mean, it is what it is. That's
Yeah, it's not only
football.
it's not only how you can play; it's where you get drafted at. That's why I feel bad for whoever
Fit
goes
is
to
everything.
whoever goes to the Bears at number 1 is going to just fail
Yeah, I feel bad for them
because Bears it's where
I feel
quarterbacks
like-
going to die.
the curse is
I
real.
feel like Fields was finally getting somewhere with that team though.
No,
But it's
He
the
looked a
Bears.
lot better last season.
No, he
It's
wasn't.
the Bears and quarterback. Fields is terrible. Fields, because you know what, Brandon, not to disrespect anything you have to say, but what people don't realize if you don't watch the film, certain little plays that he does some great little plays here. He extended the ball here, and they're exciting, right? Oh my God, did you see that throw? And that's all fine and dandy, but you got to look at the product of work. What he does is the way he moves his feet, the way he anticipates the pressure, the way he looks at who's open and who not, how you go through his progressions, how fast does he read through the progressions. All that you got to look into when you look at the film and you realize this dude cannot do it. He's not a quick processor. I don't like his movement of his feet. I never liked.
And he doesn't have a coach. He doesn't have a coach that can scheme guys open and just give him one.
He won't
read.
fit perfect for Kyle because Kyle could do that.
He would drive Kyle crazy.
No.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about in this being schemed open.
Well, the
it
thing
will
is
benefit
that
him with Kyle.
The thing
I
is
think-
that Kyle he would have to throw the ball on time, and I don't think that he struggles with that.
Yes.
Getting the ball out on time.
Yes.
And that would drive Kyle nuts.
That's why
That's
he
what
loves
drove him.
Brock Purdy.
That's why
I think-
but that's what drove him crazy about Trey.
Trey. Yep.
Like he's not trusting what he's seeing, and he wouldn't let the ball go.
How many
And I think
times
it'd be
has
the
Brock
same
Purdy
thing.
thrown the ball in the air with the quarterback? The receiver hasn't even broken his break yet, and the ball's already in the air.
Yep.
Like the one
no,
against Seattle.
you don't have to talk to
Thanksgiving.
me about Brock. Like I think Brock is exactly
Brock's the guy.
what Kyle needs for his offense.
Yeah, he's better than Matt Ryan in my opinion, and I said it.
I mean, yeah, and
He's
I
way
think
better
eventually
than
he
fucking
could be.
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Oh yeah, that's no doubt on that. But his anticipation he first and foremost, Brock is confident. You have to be confident in that position. 2, he anticipates and he believes in his receivers. He buys in. Kittle is going to be where Kittle needs to be. Ayuk is going to be there. No matter what I see, he's going to be there. And he throws the ball with anticipation, and the ball gets there. As soon as they make the cut, boom, the ball hits there. He's not afraid of getting hit. It never gets too big for him. And these are the things. Yes, everybody wants a 6'2", 6'3", 6'4" prototype body. Everybody wants that rifle arm. But tell me, Trey Lance, and I given he hasn't played much. I don't care. Look at even Josh with the Buffalo Bills. He has that body. He has that arm. He hasn't even made it to the Super Bowl. He hasn't even made it, I believe, to the NFC Championship. You got Brock Purdy getting to the Super Bowl in his first year of being full. I mean, the things that this kid does, yes. Would he been better with a bigger body, a bigger frame, and a bigger arm? Of course. But this kid, what he does is special. He does. Somebody earlier put on there Brock Breeze Jr. You know, some people might think offense to that, but I don't. I think that's a good. I think it's a good comparison to someone that he can be finding catch up is Breeze. I'm going to get your thoughts on that. Can Brock Purdy, at the projection that he played last year, if he continues in that projection, can he be the next Brock Purdy in your guys' opinion? Whoever wants to go first.
Wait, who's next, Brock?
Yeah,
Purdy?
he can beat Brock Purdy.
No,
Who?
Can he be the next Drew Brees? Is what I meant to say. Brock Purdy.
Oh, I mean, he could be, but I don't think Kyle's offense is going to allow him to be that. Like,
Yet.
if that makes sense.
You think that might open up as he gets more experience?
Their offense that the way that I mean, it's just two different. He would do it in two different. They're two different, completely different styles. Because if you look at, I mean, people look at the fact that Brock is 6 feet nothing, and that he has a little bit of athletic ability, and that like he kind of spreads the ball around, and we automatically say Drew Brees. Like, but that's not how he plays.
No, he
He
does.
does
That's true.
like and his and Kyle's offense is completely different than what's his name? The
Breeze.
guy in
Sean
Payton.
Payton, yeah.
It's complete like I mean, Drew Brees would focus on like one or two receivers. Yeah, he would spread the ball around a little bit, but for the most part, he had Marcus Colston, he had Michael Thomas, he had like specific guys that he would just go to on a regular basis. Kyle's offense is never going to allow that.
So let me retract the question. If he was under Sean Payton offense,
I think he could. I think he could. Okay. I think he could if he was under that type of offense.
Okay.
But
maybe I should have worded it better. But.
I think Breeze has a little bit stronger of an arm than he does.
Yeah, he does.
So I think he can make a few more throws than Brock can. I think Brock can make the throws. He has to have that anticipation to make those throws. If he doesn't, he can't get the ball there.
I think as time goes on, you'll see the more improvement from Brock. Each season and everything. Like it's just his first full season, especially coming off an injury. We didn't think he had the deep ball, but this season he threw plenty of them perfectly into receivers' hands.
Yep.
I could see some of Drew Brees look like during those plays, kind of, but I mean, shit. Let's say we talk like 5 to 10 years from now. Who knows? Maybe he could be the next Drew Brees during that time. You know what I'm saying? I just don't know yet right now.
Now, we would love to have both the strong arm and the ability to quick release, anticipate, and all that, right? Okay, Brock doesn't have the strong arm. Brandon, I ask you, what would you prefer? If you had to only choose one or the other, you can't have them both. Would you like to have the Josh Allen strong arm or the Brock Purdy ability to make reads, anticipate, and quick release? Not being biased.
Damn.
I mean, that's a lot.
That's a good question, man. That's a good question.
Basically, you can't. You're dumb as rocks, but you got a strong arm.
Correct.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go Brock Purdy's way, man.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, man, even if you don't have like the strongest arm, if you can make those reads and put the ball where it needs to be, then that's all that fucking matters. Fuck the having the strength of the arm. You know what I mean?
Oh, I completely agree with you. I love Brock. I think Brock is perfect for Shanny, and that's I'm glad that even though Shanny tried to go away with what works for him, he eventually somebody upstairs said, "I'm sorry, brother. Like I'm gonna do this for you because you can't figure it out, and I'm just gonna give you this guy in the 7th round, the very last pick."
Yeah.
And a shout out to what's the name? I keep saying Brian Greasy for banging on the table he's the reason why we have Brock Purdy in the house.
Mm-hmm. Now watch Washington get a good quarterback.
He's still with us.
Brian Greasy?
Yeah.
Brian Greasy is. No,
you're thinking about the Adam Peters.
Yeah, my bad.
No.
Take that back.
No worries. No, I'm talking about, Brian Greasy, the quarterback coach. He's the one that Jeff George or Drew Brees.
Speaking of coaches, did you know that Staley was the one that helped us get Leonard Floyd?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
That's crazy.
Well, he was the reason why he picked because he knew he had a chance to play not only Brian Greasy, whatever Staley is the one that brought him, but he wants to play underneath what's his name? Help me out. I can't think of his name right now. Our defensive line coach.
Oh, Chris
Kasarik. He wants to play under Chris Kasarik because he knows Chris Kasarik is going to get him paid more money down the line, if not even with us.
You talking about Leonard Floyd?
Yep.
Oh, they signed a 2-year deal with him.
He's
it 31.
I thought it was 1.
No, I think they
No,
signed him
it's
for
2
2
years.
years.
Is it one with an option of 2, or is it just 2?
No, it's 2 years.
Oh, okay.
They signed him for 2 years, and he's 31 already.
Niners,
Like,
well,
so-
yeah, the age I knew. I didn't know. I knew it was 2 years, but I thought it was an option of 2. Oh, and then that's.
I mean,
yeah.
it's always an option. It's always an option. But they did sign him for 2 years. But the option is always there. They'll probably, if it doesn't work out.
Real quick to Val Ramos' question. For me personally, yes. Yes, I think he'll be worth $40 million plus.
Oh, it's going to be more than that.
I know.
Oh,
yeah.
it is.
Now people don't realize,
Especially if you win
Go ahead,
Super
Brad.
Bowl.
I mean, yeah. Well, what people don't realize is this. Look at the year that he had in 2023. Okay, this is coming off no off season, coming off an injury the year before to his elbow, having surgery. A lot of us, we were doing our shows and we were like, is he going to be able to be ready week 1? Is he going to take up to week 5?
Yeah.
Is he going to be able to miss the whole year? We had all these questions, and the kid came off against the Steelers firing and never looked back. The kid, now imagine him with a complete offseason.
Yeah. Well,
Second
we just
year
got to
removed
get
from
through
that injury?
You got to
Oh.
get through the season. You
No,
just got to
of course.
get through the season.
But that's any quarterback, though, right?
That's any quarterback, but I mean, especially Brock, because the league already doesn't think he should get paid just because of his measurables.
And that's stupid, bro. But I hear you.
And I agree with you, but at the same time, they're looking for a reason not to pay him. So so he just needs to get through the season. It doesn't even have to be as great as this past year. It just has to be in the vicinity, and he's gonna get paid. He's gonna get more than 40 if he can just stay healthy.
Yeah, he's looking.
And that's
at
what I want
45
for him.
and
I
up.
want him to just. He doesn't have to have the mind blowing numbers. I just want him to get better situationally, and and just to be that guy and just be the leader of the team. That's the growth that I want to see from Brock.
People don't realize how hard it is to be a guard in the NBA and be able to just, people, they look at you. Just got to be able to just get the ball to your best playmakers and do their job. And the thing about Brock, he can do that. He can put it in stride for Debo. He can put it in stride for Ayuk. He can put it. So people are always going to ask, well, what happens if we start losing players? He can spread the ball out. We just got to, number one, protect him. And if we could, because he's a quick anticipator. He reads defenses quick. Those are, people don't realize as a quarterback, those are hard things to teach. The ability to read the defense fast, to get rid of the ball quickly with anticipation, and put it where it needs to be, where only either your player gets it or nobody gets it. Yes, he had some interceptions, but who doesn't? He's not a turnover machine.
Yeah, that's for sure. We just don't need him to have him in bunches.
Yes. Jimmy, man, he was always guaranteed for at least one interception.
If that's the way it felt. That's the way it felt.
It didn't happen, but exactly.
Dude,
It's almost like
every time
he
he
needed to
threw
get
the
it
ball.
out of the way for it to play
I
right.
would go every single time,
Yep.
because when you're watching the game on set, like you're watching the game and you can't really see where he's throwing the ball. You see him throwing the ball over the middle, but you don't see where the ball's ended up, and you're just like,
You know what used to scare me, guys? When we were going into the third quarter and he hasn't thrown one yet. That would scare the shit out of me. Like, we're in the third quarter towards the end of it, and he hasn't thrown one yet. I'd rather him throw one in the first quarter.
That's how I felt about Tony. I was like,
Tony Romo? Oh, my
Tony
goodness.
Romo, like anybody, because I had a lot of friends that were Cowboy fans, and I would just tell them, oh, wait a minute, hold on, how many interceptions he's got? I was like, oh, he hasn't thrown one yet. Oh, like y'all gonna lose this game. Yeah, y'all gonna lose this game.
Yeah, because it's not whether he's going to throw one or not, it's where in the game is he going to throw it. Mm-hmm. That you will wear you as a fan. So good luck, Rams. Now, he's not the starter for the Rams, which is okay. But, hey, Ram fans, if you never wanted Matthew Stafford, and he doesn't get hurt much, so you're pretty good shape. But if he gets hurt, hold your breath.
Oh, he gets hurt a lot.
Since he's been with the Rams, he only missed one or two games.
Last year he missed what? He missed a couple of games.
Did he? But that was only 2 games.
And then the year before that, he missed a bunch of games.
Are you sure? I don't think so.
Or was it?
I think
was
that's
one
the
of the
only
seasons.
games he missed in the whole career of the Rams.
Because the year before last
Now with
year,
Detroit, he's missed.
the year before last, the year before last year, they won the Super Bowl,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But there was a year that they had Baker Mayfield on the squad.
That was last year.
That was like, okay, so then he missed a few games.
Yeah, but only last year. But the year before,
Yeah,
it's
it
when
was
they won
more
the
than
Super
two
Bowl.
then. It had to be more than two.
Yeah,
Because
games.
but anyway, it doesn't really matter.
No, but he's not injury prone. Like somebody one time told me that they brought Jimmy
got hurt all the
and
time
Matthew.
in Detroit,
The
though.
Matthew Stafford is made out of glass. I'm like, what are you watching?
Well, he got hurt a lot in Detroit, but that was because he would always try to do too much. And
But he's not made out of glass. You see him play after he'd been hurt.
Yeah,
That
he would
kid-
keep playing, but I mean, they
Yeah.
would suck after that. He would just always be playing hurt.
Yeah,
But
so
I feel you. I feel you what you're saying, though.
but yeah, so
I'm not
they
trying to
better hope
argue.
he doesn't get hurt because unless he gets hurt before they play us, and then Fred Warner will be like, Jimmy, give me the ball, Jimmy.
I just want to see Jimmy come in.
Yeah. Play against us. Show us that you want to take revenge.
What
on the
happens?
Niners.
What happens if Jimmy comes in and is a world beater under McVay's system?
Well, shit. That will tell you the difference between McVay and
I mean,
Shannon.
sometimes it's maybe he's just more of a fit for McVay's system.
The
than
scheme.
Shannon, you know?
Yeah. But
That'll be the story. That'll be the story. Is
He
that
couldn't do nothing to the Raiders with Avante Adams. So
well, I know, but I mean,
That guy's trash.
But their offensive.
What's up, Drew?
Their offensive system was trash. Oh, what's going on, Drew? Hey, my guy Drew is gonna have his.
Oh, is this your boy?
He's developing another. He's
put
developing a
it back on the
podcast of his
screen.
own.
Oop, hold
So
on.
make sure you give my guy a follow on Twitter. Make sure that you give him a subscribe when he drops his channel. He's talking about dropping his own channel on YouTube. So make sure
Oh,
you
right
keep an
on.
eye out for my guy.
Let me know. I'll subscribe definitely.
Yeah.
Always love helping out my fellow
Yeah, same
Cox
here.
member.
Yep.
Welcome to the channel, my
people.
friend. What are you going to be talking football or something else?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a 49er fan.
Oh, right. See, I already knew I liked him. Niner fan. Because if he would have been Dallas, I'm like, I don't see him in the channel.
Oh, he
no
says
more.
he's already got the channel up. So like, make sure you go.
Do me a
up
favor. Type it in the comments, and I'll put it up, bro. Type it in the comments, and I'll put it up for you. Most definitely promote. It's all about promoting our friends, man.
Yep,
Not just about
absolutely.
our channel. It's about helping
Yeah,
out
He's
our
good.
fellow
He's
brothers.
good people too. He's good people.
Well, if he knows you, Pete, then I automatically
We know
know
that
he's a good people. Yeah.
Yep.
Because you're a good people, Pete.
I appreciate you.
And Brandon just looks handsome over there. Look at him. Mr. Italian.
Oh.
Sexy Italian.
You
What time
motherfucker.
is it? What time is it?
I love you guys both, man. When is your next cast, Drew? Okay, look at Val Ramos already supporting the channel. I love it. Hey, real quick, not to change the football as we come close to our hour. What do you guys hold or do on the Pete Daddy situation?
Oh, geez.
Oh, damn.
I mean, is he? We may never see him again. May never see him again. Like he went
I heard-
to where did he go to Cape Verde or like that? I think that was the last thing I saw.
The Caribbean.
Or
That's what
Antigua.
I heard.
Caribbean, yeah.
Yeah,
They raided his house. in
He
Florida
left his
and-
family,
He
his
rented
kids,
house
and everything.
in Miami and LA at
He
the
pulled the
same
heat.
time.
He pulled a heat. Like it was just like, hey, if there's anybody,
He
that
said,
you
"I'm out."
cannot-
Listen, people like, you know, when people get accused of something that you don't know if it's real or not, maybe it's real, maybe it's not hearsay. When you get home land security going and raiding your home, there's a little bit more than just a story there.
Yeah.
They have to have probable cause to go. If they have that, now if they find something, ooh,
He did some shit to Cassie, man, back in the day. That's why all this shit's going on.
yeah. But even J-Lo came
That
out
was
saying
just
that
the tip
she
of
did
the-
some
yeah,
stuff
that
that she wasn't happy because of him.
Yeah, I mean that's just the tip of the iceberg. I think from what like people have been saying the stuff about Diddy for years, and it's just like it's the same thing as R. Kelly and all the rest.
Do you think it's just the person being sick mentally, or do you think that money, extra money, helps that sickness grow because you have the ability to do stuff that you normally wouldn't do without money?
I mean, I feel like, I mean, you hear more and more of this stuff out of Hollywood and the entertainment industry in general. And I just think it's like
It's
I think
sad.
it gets to yeah, it's kind of sad, but like, I mean, it's almost comes to the point to where people feel untouchable and they feel like they can do whatever they want to. And I think there's that like there's almost like a power that they feel.
And the
And
more
I
they
don't
get away
know.
with
I don't
shit,
know.
the
I'm
more
not
they
in
feel
these
that way,
guys'
right?
heads. Like, but I think it's almost a control thing. Like I can do anything and
It's
get
the
away with it.
adrenaline, bro. If I was right there and I got away with it,
Yeah.
Well,
until you
just
don't.
like
And I don't know. Like I don't know why these people do it. Like, but
it's just like
uh, it is what it is. Like, I'm
yeah,
glad
it's
I'm
just
not.
like freaking that documentary, Quiet on the Set with the Nickelodeon shit with Dan
Yeah.
Schneider and everything. Like that's
I mean,
crazy,
you hear
dude.
about it. You've heard about it for years and years. All those '80s kid stars that would end up being
Yep.
end up all jacked up. Like, I mean, it's just
They got their
it.
opportunities,
They
but you
didn't
wonder
get
what
there.
the cost was.
Yeah, they didn't get there just because they were on TV. Like there was
Yeah.
something
They
was
got there
happening
because of
to
what they
them.
were providing for
Yeah.
these perverts.
Something was happening to them, and like, but everybody kept sweeping that under the rug and just calling them problem children, and like that people don't just get like that for no reason.
Yeah, it's a
So
yeah. Listen, I don't care who you are. I don't care, female, male, rich, poor. Anytime you're involved with sex trafficking, you're an SOB, and you don't deserve the air that is in your lungs, in my opinion. And especially when you mess with children. That's just my strong opinion on that. It's a disgrace, man. People are sick, man. There's sick people out there, and then you add money and ability to get away with things. Like you said, they feel invincible until they're not.
yeah.
Al Capone felt that way, you know, invincible until you got tax evasion. Go figure. Out of
So
everything,
did
they
Frank
could,
Lucas.
who?
I said, so did Frank Lucas. Like, you ever seen American Gangster?
No, his name is
Yeah.
Frank Lucas.
Like, yeah, he wore this big old
Any
chinchilla.
relation?
Huh? No,
In-
absolutely not.
No, he's like, and if it was, I ain't saying shit.
He said absolutely not.
Yeah, absolutely
But
not.
but like you said, tell a friend to
Michelle
be a
over
friend
here.
so we can be friends. None of that shit with them, huh?
No. No,
All right, gentlemen, we are getting to that hour. Today was definitely fun. Talking 49er football with you guys. Every Tuesday, guys, we are on here. Unless something comes up, it might just be two of us. It might just be one of us, or definitely all three of us. Every Tuesday at 6:30 Pacific Standard Time. Make sure you tune in, and we go live on all of our channels. If you ever want to know our channels, if you're not familiar with our channels, it's in the description below. All you got to do is click on it, on the link, go and subscribe. As I have Pete, and then I'll bring Brandon up to finish as they share with us what they're doing on their channel. I'm going to be putting them solo, and you're going to, on top of their head, they're going to show their channel. So make sure to look at them and follow them and support them because they're doing great things over there. Pete, what do you have going on your channel this week?
Planning on having another show on Thursday. I mean, there's so much news popping up daily with the 49ers as usual in the off season, but I'll be talking about whatever is going on, and I'm definitely probably going to do another mock draft. I love doing mock drafts, so that's my thing. But you can catch me on YouTube on Niner Fanatic Podcast. All of my stuff you can catch. You just got to type in Niner Fanatic Podcast, and I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Facebook. I'm on anywhere where you can get your audio podcast. Check out the YouTube Music. If you have the YouTube Music app, they did away with Google. They're about to do away with Google Pod, and they migrated everything over to YouTube Music. It's pretty cool because you can kind of go between the audio and the YouTube version. It's kind of weird, but I like it. But like I said, you can get it. I don't care where you get it, just get it, and make sure that you tell a friend to tell a friend so we can be friends every day, every week. You know what it is.
Unless you're Frank Lucas or related to him. No,
Not unless if you are Frank Lucas, we don't do snitches.
Because they get stitches.
Snitches get stitches.
Snitches get
Absolutely.
stitches. Right on. You done, Senor Pete?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, let me pass it over to Brandon. Brandon, what you got going on in your channel or any
right.
of your places.
I'm trying to get with the fellas, see if we could do a show, maybe do like a mock draft show, maybe this weekend or something. But I'll definitely keep you guys updated. Like you see up above, you can find me on YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or X. For FFO Podcast, make sure you hit that like, subscribe button. And then if you guys just want to listen to the audio portion, if you're on your way to work, coming home from work, stuck in traffic, whatever, we're also on all audio platforms. Like Pete said, YouTube Music, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, SiriusXM Radio. What's the other one? Odyssey. All
He's
the
everywhere.
podcasts. So, yeah, just keep an eye out. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Follow us over on X, Instagram, and Facebook to get all your latest 49er news. And yeah.
Right on. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that popped in tonight. We appreciate you guys. You guys are amazing. The show is not what it is without you. The true stars of the show is everyone in the comments, your participation in our channel, coming and hanging out with me, Pete, and Brandon. We enjoy doing what we do because of you guys. So continue to do what you do. And let me give you guys a hand of applause real quick. You guys deserve it. You guys are the all-stars. Make sure to follow us on all our channels. Make sure to tune in every Tuesday at 6:30. We'll keep you up to date. We'll do drafts ourselves. We're going to make Brandon the GM one day. One show we'll make Pete the GM on the next show and so forth. And then we'll compare their draft picks. I want to get this on video. So practice, guys, because I want to get this on video before the actual draft. So I want to see how many of the actual players the Niners do pick fall into your guys' show. So maybe next week, Brandon, would you like to go first or you want Pete to go first?
Let's go with Pete first.
I knew you were going to say that. That's why I brought up your name first.
All right.
So Pete,
I got, and big up to Steph Sanchez. Like I've got the Cliffs notes. Like everybody that the 49ers met with.
And what I'm going to do is this, Pete. You got to tell me. You can mention it now, but you can have to remind me later, so I'll forget. But you're going to be the GM of the Niners for 7 rounds next week. It's going to be all you. You're going to move up or you're going to move down, the whole 9 yards. You just tell me what to do, and then you let me know which. I have PFF. I have all of them. So you let me know which simulator you want to use, you're more familiar with, and I'll bring that up. And then the same thing with PFF, Brandon. And the same thing with Brandon. Brandon will be the GM the following week. So look forward next Tuesday at 6:30. We're going to have GM Peter Lucas. Will he trade up? Will he trade down? Will the board dictate which way he's going and which draft will he take? Because I'm going to save that video and I'm going to take a snapshot of the draft that he did. And then the Brandon, and I'll do the last one right before the draft. So it'll be the next 3 weeks. It'll be Pete, Brandon, then myself. And then we're going to compare them to the actual draft to see who got the most players at what positions and at what spots the close. I think that'll be fun. And maybe we'll let you guys decide something. And whoever guess, if you guys say Pete is going to win it, me or Brandon, the closest one might get a free gift. So we'll figure it out. But all right, gentlemen, good night, everyone. God bless. I see real quick, David Avila. I see you in there. I saw you in there, bro. I want to acknowledge you. This guy's a cool dude. I love my bro, David Villa. David Corona's in the house. Welcome to the channel, my friend. Guys, once again, thank you for tuning in. We'll see you on the next show. Remember, next Tuesday, GM Peter Lucas of the San Francisco 49ers will be making his selection. Who would he take with his number 1 pick? Do me a favor, put in the comments. After the show's over, put in the comments, who is Pete taking with his number 1 pick next? And if you get it right, maybe I'll give you a patch. We'll see. We're out of here. Peace. Go Niners. Bang, bang.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3,